Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers to max out with this season in ranked. So as you guys probably know, I pushed up to #1 and been playing so many hours of ranked, so I feel like I've got a great understanding of the meta as well as competitive and everything else. So these are going to be the best brawlers to upgrade. Of course, some of the best brawlers in the games are good to upgrade if you play a lot of ladder, but sometimes they just ban too much in ranked. So anyways, let's jump into it. So starting off with one of my favorite counter picks in the meta, it's Clancy. So I don't think Clancy is anywhere near like broken. Of course, once he gets to his last stage, he is very strong, but against good players, it's actually really hard to get to that latter stage. So I think Clancy's only good when you pick him into tanks. So Clancy's a really good brawler to max out right now in ladder if you play a lot of that, but mainly playing Brawl, Hot Zone, Heisty can be good as a late pick, and Gem Grab. Any grassy map, it's really easy to get levels up with Clancy, so be aware that you can play him later on in draft, counter pick, so it's a much better alternative to Colette, because once you get to that final stage, you're literally 1 versus 3, so just bear that in mind. You can't pick him on early in draft, but he definitely is a very troublesome brawler, and easily still an S tier, just not the best in the game. Alright guys, jumping into the next brawler you should be looking to max out in the meta, it is Barley or Barry or Larry. So I know that's 3 brawlers. I think it's good to have all of those maxed out, but of course there's only a limited amount of resources you can get in the game, so I think it goes in order. I think Barley probably is the best brawler to max out, mainly because you don't need team synergy all the time to work with Barley, and he's just so insanely strong with the hypercharge. Barry takes a little bit more coordination and more team composition, and Larry, he's probably a bit better in bounty and knockout and a little bit more versatile, but he doesn't have that carry factor that Barley and Barry have. So the reason why I've said all 3 of them, because all of them, as you probably see in my other lists in ranked on my rank guides, they're just completely dominating the meta. The map pool is just completely thrower centric, and these free throws dominate even early in the draft. I'm picking Barley and Barry all the time, literally as a first pick, because you know, Barry, he's got the knockback, Barley, he's got the slow gadget, and also he gets the hype charge anyways, which will just literally change over a game. Larry is really good against offensive brawlers, so you take a look at literally all of the maps, and every single game mode will have at least 1 good thrower map. You think of bounty, it's got Canal Grande. You think of heist, hot potato. Hot zone, you've got parallel plays and dueling. Well, all 3 of them are really good. Brawl, you've got 2 really good thrower maps. On Gem Grab, you've got probably not too many, but Knockout, all of them are throwers except for out in the open. So just so many good thrower maps, so you definitely need to max out a ton of them. Next brawler you should definitely max out with this meta, you have Chester. So Chester's gone from like an F tier brawler to an A tier, maybe even S tier in the meta right now. He was one of the most played brawlers in competitive, and still in ranked, he's one of my favorite to play. And for whatever reason, randoms just like going Colt and Dynamite, and they always leave Chester free to me. Also, like normally like Gail and other brawlers are picked, and Chester always slips through the picks, and he's absolutely insane in the meta. So you got rework to his star power, which means he can just cycle through his attack damage a lot easier, and is much more of a threat. So the best game modes for Chester are going to be Hot Zone, Brawl, and Gem Grab in particular. You can't really play him in bounty and knockout too often. Heist, you can sometimes play him in hot potato as a defender, but the main reason why he's so good is because there's just so many different ways that you can out skill an opponent with all of his different supers. And then of course in some maps where he has the wall breaker super, it's really good because he's got a fast movement speed, a decent amount of HP, good damage, and you know, typically wall breakers are countered by throwers, you know, like Rust for example is super squishy, but no, Chess has a lot of HP, and eventually he can overwhelm the throwers, also get that wall break super and counter them. So he's just a really good all-rounder, pretty much good against everything. Okay, so the next brawler you must absolutely max out for this ranked season, we have Piper. So I thought Piper was a little bit overrated last season, but now I'm really liking a lot of Piper, mainly because she's a hard carry brawler. So in particular, there's just so many bad randoms this season, so I think it's always essential to get this type of hard carry brawler where you can just absolutely carry those randoms. And Piper's one of them because of that snappy sniping star power. She has a lot of damage with her main attack, and you can cycle through to your supers pretty easily. And then of course the hypercharge to make those game changing plays. Of course she's going to be really good on bounty and knockout, pretty much good everywhere there outside of like Canal Grande. She's just insane everywhere. You've also got Gem Grab. She's a good gem carrier. You've got Brawl, where she's maybe a good option in Pinball Dreams. You got Hot Zone, where she's actually a good counter pick in Dueling Beetles to open up the map. A good Piper, you know, today for example, will just absolutely blitz through everyone, because if you got good aim, you're going to carry with this brawler because she just deals insane amount of damage. And of course Heist, she's really good on safe zone in the mid. So Piper's still really good, still hard to count on. Of course, the hypercharge has just elevated her to a new level. But into the next Brawler, must absolutely max out for this season in ranked. We have Mandy, so another hard carry brawler, and Mandy definitely is a noob stomper in this meta. So for whatever reason, I'm really struggling to face off against Mandy this season, and the players that I'm facing off against aren't even that good. Maybe Mandy's just really that good in the meta. Even in Heist, I'm seeing a lot of Mandy, for example, Safe Zone, Kaboom Canyon. It just seems to work for whatever reason, because it always feels like Mandy has super, and of course Mandy's super pretty much one-shots so many of the meta brawlers where she's good in. Bounty, knockout, she pretty much one-shots all of them or gets them really weak. Heist as well, a lot of brawlers are quite squishy in the Heist meta, so her super just wrecks through them. She's not really that great in any other game mode, but I just think she's an absolute hard carry in Bounty and knockout right now. It's getting to the point where I'm actually starting to ban Mandy a lot of the times because it's so annoying to face off against, especially the randoms. They just feed so many supers, and then you're just going to get sniped when you don't even expect it by that Mandy super. So I think she's just absolutely cracked in ranked right now. So now jumping into the next brawler, must absolutely max out for this season. We have a Gail. So I would say that brawlers like Meg, I'm not going to put on this list because I actually think she gets countered a lot in ranked, even though a lot of times I will end up just banning her because she's annoying. Gail is one of those best counters to brawlers like Meg, and I actually find the most problems with Gail instead of Meg because you've got a toxic slow star power. You've also got the ability to pinch around walls. You know, there's maps like Undermine, for example, where you can literally shoot around walls, which is just insane. You've got really good versatility with gadgets. If you're going to face off against aggros, you just go Twister. There's a couple of maps where the launch pad is actually really good. You think of Parallel Plays, you think of Dueling Beetles to get into the mid a lot quicker. You think of Heist, Safe Zone, for example. You can use the launch pad, Kaboom Canyon as well. The launch pad, and it's actually my favorite first pick in pretty much every single scenario. Brawl and Gem Grab, you're going to see a lot of tanks and assassins, and there's a lot of grassy maps where Gale's going to be really good because of his main attack. It's easy to scout. You pop the vision gear on him as well on those grassy maps, and he's going to dominate even further. His super damage is just absolutely insane. You can snipe people across the map. You can also use Gale on like Canal Grande, for example. So I just think he's so versatile right now, and honestly maybe even better than Meg, probably the best brawler in the game, but the randoms just seem to not have picked it up right now. So I would say it's the best time to max out Gail. So now jumping into the next brawler, must absolutely max out for ranked. It is Jean. So I know you probably think a lot of the time that Jean actually isn't that great, but trust me, he's just absolutely beautiful in the ranked meta because you always want, especially in the early stages of drafts, to go a brawler that isn't countered by many options. And Jean, there aren't really many like better counters right now for him. He's pretty good into everything. So of course Bounty and Knockout are going to be his better game modes because you can just chip the opponents, easily get super. You've got the Vision Gear, which will absolutely hard carry you in maps like Out in the Open and Flaring Phoenix. On Knockout, in Bounty, he's still really good on Shooting Star, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage. He just pairs really well with his Magic Puff Star Power. You think of Hideout as well. His Gene Pool just, it has so much presence. Even if you don't hit it a lot of the time, just being able to get that Gene Pool and then just force the opponents back, because of course they don't want to walk into Gene Pool. It also enables you to break open walls to counter those throwers, so I really like him for that reason. He's a really solid gem carry right now because again, double swoosh, there's a lot of grass, Vision Gear paired with him, he can change the game so easily. So I just think he's a perfect brawler in this meta, and he's just quite easily on the cusp of S tier. So moving on to the next brawler, must absolutely max out for this season of ranked. We have Rico. So a lot of times my randoms actually end up picking Rico before me, but that's because I'm always the highest elo in the room. But I think for most people, they should be able to get their hands on Rico is what I'm saying. So in terms of good maps for him, of course, he's going to be better in like harder up mine. He's pretty decent at undermine. He's really good in the Brawl meta right now. Literally all three Brawl maps is just Rico heaven. You slap the Vision Gear onto him on maps like Center Stage and he will dominate. You think of Penalty Kick, literally there's so many walls, and that's what Rico loves. You think of Pinball Dreams as well. In the mid, he's just absolutely insane. And again, Rico is another noob stomper. By that I mean he has high carry potential, because once you get one super, if you then chain it to another one, like if you get a really juicy super, you can cycle really quickly, just team wipe and team wipe. You've got the gadget as well with extra damage. You've got the hypercharge, which on really wall heavy maps like Penalty Kick and Pinball Dreams, you can easily get team wipes with that as well. So that carrier option is definitely essential in ranked, and he's just actually a really strong brawler in the meta, so you want to max him out. But into the next brawl you want to max out for this season in ranked, we have Byron. So I've got to mention modifiers for most of this just because you don't actually get modifiers when you hit masters, so it's been a little while. But Byron Byron's really good in healing wings, for example. You also got some of the other brawlers that I mentioned in the list, like Gail, Jean, Rico. They're really good on quick fire, so I forgot to mention that. But yeah, Byron's really good in healing wings because he's got that range and he's able just to heal at a safe distance. And of course, Byron's just good as a standalone brawler as well. He's got melee star power as well to counter the other healing mechanics, so he's really solid in that modifier. But once you get to masters, he's still absolutely insane. So he's really strong in bounty and knockout, got great synergy with everything. And it's the fact that you can play two roles with Byron. Of course, you can just be the pocket healer, just helping your assassin, or just other aggressive brawler like Meg or something that wants to push into spawn. You can always be that support brawler. But he's literally one of the best snipers in the game right now. He is only really countered by like Nanny. Well, it's actually counted by the 3 good sharpshooters, but a lot of times you can still get great value with him as long as you're using their booster shots gadget. You can cycle through to super so quickly, and I literally look at every single game mode, probably outside of Brawl, he's going to be one of the best picks. So yeah, Byron's still insane in his meta. Moving into the final Brawl must max out for this ranked season, we have Buster. So Buster is still busted in this meta. There's so many good maps for him, so many good interactions, and if you watch competitive a couple of weeks ago, you'd see Fade on a Buster, for example, and he can manipulate so many different matchups and just win so easily because that shield counters everything, and I mean everything. I don't think there's a single thing that it doesn't block. You know, there's the Mandy super coming at you, Buster shield, Gene pool, Buster shield, anything, just Buster shield, and it blocks everything. So if you've got good timing and good reactions, you can always just defend yourself so easily and then allow you to go on the offensive. His gadget is just absolutely insane. It enables you to free shot so many different brawlers in the game. And of course, any grassy map, Buster's going to be really good. Even tanks, I think there are a few tanks that can counter Buster, but still with well-timed shield, you can win a lot of matchups a lot of the time. So again, he's going to be really strong in hot zone. He's not going to be good in heist because he hasn't got DPS to keep it up with things. He's going to be really good in like Canal Grande, hideout. He's really good in the knockout meta right now. He's also really great in gem grab when you think of double swoosh and undermine. He's really great in center stage, for example. So the more grass, the better he's going to be. But trust me, he's absolutely insane. So there's a few brawlers as well that missed out on this list. They've got the likes of Colette, Meg, Tick, and Kit. They're going to be really good in ranked as well. But these are some of the big carry picks that will definitely help you get masters. So that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.